LGBT plus LGBT plus LGBT plus. I'm recording, right? Okay. Hey YouTube, I hope this video finds you well. Once again, I'm here to share a little piece of me so you guys can get to know me a little better. If I was ever comfortable with you, you know that I'm attracted to both women and men. The main purpose of this video isn't to come out. I've done that already. The main point of this video is to share my experience with coming out and coming to terms with what my sexual orientation is. So if you're still interested, please keep on watching. First and foremost, I believe that I started showing signs that I was attracted to the same gender before I even knew what sexuality was or what my actions meant. I could date it as far back as maybe 8 years old. Anything before middle school is kind of fuzzy for me. Anyways, I didn't think anything of it at the time. It wasn't until that I watched more shows that I just assumed that love was only between men and women. At least, that's the only representation that I saw in my shows. When you see a certain type of love as a kid, that kind of sticks with you for a while. Anything against the norm just doesn't seem natural, especially back then when little kids have such insecurities of being made fun of. Especially back in the late 90s and early 2000s, there wasn't a lot of LGBT plus representation. Maybe we had Ellen, and don't get me wrong, she's a queer legend, but there was nobody that looked like me that also identified with the LGBT. Also, on sitcoms and other TV shows, if there was LGBT plus representation, they would be painted as these caricatures. Lesbians were seen as aggressive and masculine, and the males would be seen as effeminate and flamboyant. As I said before, there wasn't a lot of LGBT plus members that looked like me or acted like me. As a result, I had this very close-minded perspective on what LGBT members looked like and acted like. There was never a gradient or spectrum of role models for me to look up to. I started questioning my sexuality a little more, even though I still didn't fully understand what human sexuality was. This is due to me having more queer friends, mostly gay males who were open and proud to be who they were. I finally found a safe space in high school to aid in my curiosity. One day, a friend came up to me and she told me that she was bi-curious. I was like, wait, what does that mean? She explained to me that she would be interested in experimenting and doing romantic actions with the same gender. And low-key, that blew my mind because every little queer thing I did when I was younger and I didn't realize came to realization in that very moment. Maybe I was bi-curious too. And that's when my journey with my sexual orientation officially began. From then on, I always had this curiosity of dating the same gender. Luckily, my last year of high school, I finally joined the Gay Straight Alliance Club on campus. I don't know why it took me so long to join, honestly, but it was my senior year, so I thought, why not? I found a girl. Well, actually, she found me. I'm gonna need that on record. She was my first same-gendered crush. Full-on feelings, first kiss, heartbreak, the whole nine. In hindsight, I know that I needed that experience because at that time, my bi-curious friend wasn't really solidified in their own sexual identity. So when my crush came along, I was surrounded by people who were more grounded in their sexual identity and were even proud of it. It made me think that it was okay to be who I am. From then on, I identified as bisexual. But at this point, I only brought it up when needed. I didn't feel the need to come out to every person that I met. However, the people that I did mention it to were nothing short of supportive. My human sexuality education expanded immensely once I started using more social media, like Tumblr. I met more queer friends from all across the globe, and we would share stories. I truly finally felt that I was part of a community. But even then, I still didn't feel like an authentic gay still. By that, I mean, I feel like I had this underlying need to keep up this stereotype that everybody puts on the LGBT community. Going back to the masculine feminine and the feminine masculine prototypes, women who liked women on Tumblr and other social medias had a certain look. Girls would fawn over them and hype them up. Unconsciously, I felt like if I didn't look that way or act that way, that I wasn't really authentic. So it also made me feel like if I didn't fit this mold, that I wasn't really part of the community. My fashion style now, I would say, is very feminine, obviously, with a sprinkle of tomboy. Back then, I didn't have enough self-confidence to gender bend my clothes. My self-esteem wasn't really high enough to rock any style that I wouldn't normally wear. On top of that, I had other body issues, so I didn't really stray away from the heteronormative. It didn't help that I had friends that would tell me what bisexuality is. Just a phase. You'll get over it. Never did been with a girl, so how will you know? By the way, some of these comments will come out of mouths of fellow LGBT members. Like, what? I thought we were all in this together. So now at this point, I thought, well, what if they're right? Fast forwarding into my college years, I finally learned what psychological traumas were. Traumas could affect choices, they could affect decision-making patterns. I had an identity crisis once. I realized that my traumas could be a big factor to why my sexuality is the way it is. I thought to myself, what if I'm only gay because of the trauma I went through? What if I heal from my traumas, would I still be gay? Luckily, I had a friend reassure me that it could be a small factor, but not the main factor. As long as I know that my feelings for the same gender are true and genuine, no one else's opinion matters. And because she's a proud queer woman herself, those words of reassurance really meant a lot to me. But now becoming more solidified with myself and reflecting on past situations dealing with romantic feelings, I know I'm attracted to women the same way I'm attracted to men. Any feelings I've had for past females remains the same and I don't regret any of it because it's made me who I am today. A proud queer woman who loves who she loves. I hope anyone that's questioning their sexuality comes across this video and understands the main takeaway. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to act a certain way. You don't have to speak a certain way to prove that you're part of the LGBT community. You don't have to prove nothing to nobody, sweetheart. You are part of this community. Period. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. I love you already. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more story times and self-reflection vlogs. Before I go, I just want to say this. Be gay, be proud. Bye guys.